Are you ready for round two?
I was born ready.
You feeling kind of far today.
I feel as close to you as I ever have.
I guess home is where the heart is. Speaking of, emotional support from an ex. Am I overreacting or is this emotional cheating? Well, I feel like I'm not well versed in that, but let's see. I, 24F, have been dating my boyfriend, 25M, for a year and a half. Overall, we have a great relationship. He's supportive, funny, really attentive. Okay, that's cute, girl. But one thing is bothering me, and I can't tell if I'm overreacting or if it's actually a big deal. Feel like if you're already worried, we'll see. He still talks to his ex from time to time, which I was okay with in the beginning when they were because they were friends before they dated. But recently I found out that whenever he's feeling stressed or going through something emotional, he goes to talk to her about it before he even brings it up with me. When I brought it up, okay, that's good. At least she brought it up so far. He said it's not that deep and that she just knows how to calm him down. But it makes me feel like I'm not his emotional safe space. I don't think he's cheating, but it still feels like betrayal in some way. Is this harmless friendship or is it crossing a line? Crossing a line.
That's
Oh,
what
you
you're saying,
agree?
eh?
Thank God, because
I
if you
think
didn't,
I think this is an obvious one. You know, just bury it, close the hatchet. That's it. Call it a day. Emotional cheating is cheating, especially when it's with an ex. An ex is someone you obviously had serious feelings for, and the fact that you're still mingling about after that, uh, em- you know, that love is gone. Definitely says something about you two and your relationship. And then gaslighting and downplaying it by saying that it's not that deep is quite a scary thing. There, my love. If someone said that to me, I'd be running for the hills. How old did you say they were again?
24 and 25, so he's a year older.
Yeah. I mean, you're young enough to just cut those ties, especially if they're not willing to accept that obvious ultimatum that will be coming up. If you're concerned about it now, you're telling me that you're not going to be concerned about it 5 years from now. If they're still doing the same stuff, it's either you or her. And I promise you, if he's acting that way now, it's definitely going to be her.
Okay, I think it's interesting how you said it's obvious. I feel like we'll be nice to her. Sometimes it's not obvious. Like you don't really know. Like you're torn between your feelings for someone and the reality which you don't want to face and the feelings that you don't want to face. And I feel like that can change, or like my answer would change based on my own life as well. Whereas one side would be like, "Oh, girl, just talk about it," but then on the other end, I'd be like, "Girl, get out of there! Like, what are you doing?" But I think there's so many parts to this. Number one, the obvious thing maybe it's not obvious to her. Number two, I think you can definitely overcome this. Like, first off, him saying it's not that deep is wrong in every single book of communication. Like,
Okay, okay.
is he always like that? If so, I don't know. Do you want to stay and fix that? Or otherwise, you should get out of there. But also, your relationship can also, oh my God, I'm saying also so much. Your relationship can get so much better from this as well if you have that open communication and you're able to talk about these kinds of things, because then it allows you to become closer to your partner and not feel as vulnerable when these things come up. And yeah, I think any disagreement or obstacle you come across, depending on how you face it, can actually make your relationship stronger, depending on how the other person also reacts. If they're willing to, I mean, in this ideal situation, not talk to that ex anymore, is how you would move forward. But if not, and he keeps doing it, it's not okay. And it is literally cheating, and you got to get out of there.
I don't disagree with you, but we saw how he reacts. It's not that deep.
Yeah, but also, that's what I said. Does he always react like that? Because if he's always putting down your feelings and never considering how you feel about things, then that's what I said. You have to think about, do you want to
That's
work
fair.
on this together and help them grow? Because that's just
That's fair. And plus,
low IQ.
if the ex is genuinely an amazing person and just very kind and helpful, who knows, right? Every situation is different. Every relationship is different, right? You raise a good point, but it is
Wait,
up
I
to.
didn't say that.
No, no, you raise a good point into what I
Oh.
was about to say now. You raise a good point into if they want to fix it, they obviously have to work together, and unfortunately, some sacrifice is going to be made. And I just feel like if this lady is, worried about it now, posting online anonymously about the issue, questioning the very existence of her relationship with her boyfriend, I could totally imagine, a few years from now, months, weeks, days, minutes, that ultimatum is going to come about. And just from the information you gave us, I think that it's going to go very south very quick, and that the boyfriend's going to end up with the ex again after, she consoles him from this inevitable breakup. Done.
Okay, that's crazy.
That's what I
I'm
think.
on the other side. I think you can work through it, but you really have to pay attention to how the other person reacts and what they're willing to give up for you.
That's fair.
Okay, so in summary, we're not on the same page. You're saying run for the hills. I'm saying sit down and talk it through. But overall, what do you guys think? Should she run for the hills or should she sit down and talk about it?
Maybe a mix of both. Sit down
You
and talk for
know,
5 minutes, and then depending on whatever you receive, run for the hills.
you can't have this conversation in 5 minutes.
I can. Simple question. Do
What
you
would be
still
the
love
question?
her?
Oh, that would be the
I'm joking.
question. Okay, yeah, I mean that's fair. If you want to jump to right to it, that's the question to ask, and that would be your answer.
Hmm.
But wait, what if he says no, comma, I'm still gonna keep talking to
Period. I'm gone.
her. I like it.
That's me.
I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
Okay, number two. Ooh, parents showing up unannounced. I don't know. I guess I've never really had to have this. Thankfully. Okay, my mom won't stop dropping in uninvited. I, 28F, recently moved into a condo with my fiance, 29M, and while we're loving our new space, there's one big issue. My mom. Okay, so it's her mom. She lives 15 minutes away and has developed this habit of just popping by without telling me. Sometimes she brings food, sometimes she wants to chat, but it's always unannounced. I've told her a few times gently that I'd prefer a heads up, but she brushes it off and says, I'm your mom. I don't need an invitation. I don't know why I said that's so weird.
I'm your
I'm your
mom.
mom. Last week, she showed up when we had friends over, and it was awkward. When I told her afterward that it bothered me, she said I was overreacting and being rude. Now I feel guilty, but also kind of invaded. Is it wrong to want privacy from your own parents? Am I being ungrateful? Oh, that's such a tough thing. I feel like sometimes it's hard to prioritize yourself without feeling guilty, and then you just feel like a mean person, and you go down like a spiral.
Especially when it's with your mom, and you know usually if you have a mother in your life still, they're there for you. They supported you since you were born, obviously, and pushing them away at that point is kind of tough. But boundaries are often set for a reason. They help maintain a healthy relationship, in my opinion. And from the sound of it, this is her first time moving out, and they mentioned a condo. So
You can only imagine how small
presumably
it
the
is.
space is relatively smaller, and just doesn't make sense to have that mother figure, constantly popping in, especially when you your mother, you respect them most of the time, and you want to ensure like whatever they encounter and um yeah, whatever they see at your home is, you know either like tidy, prepared with some level of respect. If I knew my mom was coming over, I'd at the very least want something clean, right? I know my mom, if she's watching this, she'd come over, find something dirty and clean it anyways. Love you, mom. But uh boundaries are boundaries. I think that that type of thing is inappropriate. Doesn't matter what relationship it is. If you don't live there, or had not lived there for at least like 20 plus years, you can't just drop in whenever you want, especially without notifying someone. Um, and she'd even mention her boyfriend or fiance or husband, whoever the gentleman is in the picture. How does he feel about it? That must suck, unless he's the type of person to just enjoy anyone over at any time, which is cool. But I mean, that's personally not me. I need to prepare myself. This mustache doesn't get like this out of nowhere, you know.
Okay, that's funny. I think we don't have enough information actually. Like, is your mom alone? I think that really changes things up,
That's a good point. Yeah,
or is her partner not around a lot? You know, is there something else she's going through? Or is it just like,
very
oh, you're my
insightful.
daughter
Yeah,
and I miss you and I'm gonna keep coming over? Like, I think there's like a deeper thing. And definitely we need more information on this one before we can, I mean, I personally can give more advice or something, but I do understand how annoying that can be because your space is your own space. For example, your mother didn't always like pop into your room when you lived there either. It's kind of the same
speak
thing.
speak for yourself. I
Oh,
know people who, when you live under your parents' roof, you don't have that
that's
boundary, right?
true.
That's it.
That's true. Okay, well, I guess I never had that. Like, my mom, like, I don't even know if she knew what like part of my room looked like 'cause she like never came in there. But I think some things you can do is maybe setting up time with your mom so she doesn't feel like
Yeah,
you've left her kind of thing, like easing into that. I know it kind of can be tough to make that time for someone else, but I think if you set that up already, like you guys have a coffee shop because you're only 15 minutes away. You set up this like Sunday morning coffee chat and like you guys go every other Sunday or something. At least you have that in the book so she feels less obligated to just pop on over because she just saw you. Or the other thing you can do is like kind of going back to the earlier point, does she have anyone else? If not, how do you help her close that gap? So maybe there's like an art class in the area that you can go with her or sign her up for as like a
yeah,
gift to her, or you guys have another activity you start doing together so you're filling the time that she needs without it invading your own space.
yeah.
I think that could be helpful.
No, you raised some really good points. At the end of the day, your mom's there because she loves you, right? Just as any parent would do in that situation. But uh, I feel like if there were some aspects of this story that were missing, but would be extremely important, as in, maybe she's lonely, I think they would have been mentioned. I think it was appropriate for me to assume that, she's just
Oh,
popping
for
by
sure.
because of whatever. But in that situation, let's say, God forbid, my mother was in that situation where she felt lonely. Uh, I'm not trying to like put this out on the table and just blatantly say that I'd ask for her to move in, but I would definitely take measures to ensure, as you mentioned, that gap is filled, right? Like whether it's with me or at least setting things up for her that she enjoys, just to make sure that she's happy and doesn't feel alone. But in those drastic situations, I would definitely not complain. But that's just my relationship with my mother. I would
But
do
sometimes
anything for
it's
her,
not about
right? And I wouldn't even complain about any boundaries being crossed if someone that I love is in that position, right?
yeah, but then I also think it's hard to balance your own life.
It is hard, but
Yeah,
it's
but that's where
harder
she's saying
for
like she feels
her to live
guilty.
that current. Okay, yeah, that,
I
that
think
makes sense.
that's in anywhere in life where it's
Yeah,
like sometimes you do have to prioritize yourself. And that's what I was going to go on to next is you have to let go of that because at the end of the day, it's also your life.
there is a limit.
And
Yeah,
I feel like mentally and emotionally, you can only take so much of someone doing something that's really annoying you. And that's when she's going to maybe bottle it up. And then your mom's going to do the tiniest thing and you're going to blow up and you're going to feel even worse after
yeah.
that.
I wonder what would happen if they moved like an hour away or 2 hours away.
Okay,
Would the
so the
mom
advice
just,
is to move 1 hour away
yeah, see if she's willing to take a flight to another state or province or
and just
country
pop in.
and pop in and see what happens then?
But yeah, I think overall you have to prioritize yourself and at
For
least
sure.
talk about it
Yeah.
if you haven't already like taken some of the other more friendly approaches, like
Yeah.
setting up time or giving her more time outside of the condo space.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think going there first and then after talking about the boundary thing. And then if worse comes to worse, you just say, "Oh, I'm not home. I wasn't home."
You don't think she already made a copy for herself from your keys?
Can you
I can totally
imagine?
imagine that type of person doing something like that, you know.
Hopefully not. Then you have to change your key, change the lock, all of it. But speaking of space, this is a bit of an interesting one. The man cave with a lock.
This
Oh, that's
is
crazy. You just talked about a key.
so this
And
is
I didn't
the
even
third
tell you
situation.
about what was coming up next. Yeah.
Okay.
Is this just a
Okay.
man cave or a red flag? If you think it's a red flag, it's a red flag. It's always a red flag.
Nah. Not always.
A red flag's a red flag.
That's the whole point of our show, to see if
Uh,
things are red flags or not.
I guess. So my boyfriend, 27M, and I, 27F, just moved in together after dating for 3 years. We've been adjusting pretty well, except for one weird request he brought up recently. He wants to convert one of the bedrooms into a man cave, which I was cool with at first, but then he added that he wants to put a lock on the door so he can have true alone time whenever he wants. He says that he's not hiding anything, he just needs space. I'm all for personal space, but the lock part just feels extreme. It makes me feel like I'm being shut out or like he wants to live with me but still be single. Is it reasonable to want that much privacy in a shared home? Red flag.
What do you think he's doing back there?
Red flag. But why would you need a
He's
lock
Walter White breaking batting it,
other
just
than
cooking
for the
some meth.
bathroom? You don't need a lock.
That's interesting. Uh, so I don't disagree with you, but I feel like you being like, are they married or they just
It
moved in
just
together?
says they were dating and they've moved in together after 3 years. It doesn't say any
So
other details. Wait,
whether
why
he
would that
has
change?
what?
Would it
I'm
change if
just
they were
curious.
dating
Yeah,
fiancés
yeah.
or married?
So I was just curious, first of all. But second of all, you should know what he's doing in there, whether or not there is a lock, right? So that's just what I want to say at first. If he's doing something sketchy where, he needs a lock to ensure that you don't walk in on whatever sketchy shiz he's doing, then that's tough for anyone to say if you don't know that, and you probably will never know if you agree to the lock, right? So it's tough. But if he's like a gamer, for example, and he games 30 minutes a day or 3 hours a week, and he has like this allotted time, and he requests that during that time, while he does something innocent and it's proven, I don't know, then I think it's okay, because it could just be like a weird mental thing with him where, yeah, it might take him a few more years or a few more months or it's just some sort of time to feel more comfortable and, I guess, fully trust you. Obviously, the issue here is that he doesn't trust her. If you tell someone that you love and trust, hey, during this time, don't come in because I just need this time to be alone. Yeah, a lock is unnecessary, right? So just from that blurb that you shared with us, I do agree with you. It is a red flag until there is more information brought forth. I could put it up for discussion or argument and sway the other way, but for now, with that information, I do agree that it is actually a red flag. There are some trust issues somewhere in that relationship, and full stop.
I think you're right. Like, why would you not trust someone that you're moving in with or that you've been dating for so long? So 3 years is a long time. And
Yeah, it is.
yeah, overall, it's just super weird. Like, why would you be this far into a relationship without trusting your partner and saying, hey, if you don't come in for 3 hours, I'm doing blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
You should trust them not to do that.
Yeah, she mentioned something near the end where
Oh,
he basically like wants to be together and move in, but still feel single or act single or something like that. I don't think that's the issue, right?
it doesn't, it seems like a jump, but it's their feelings. So I feel like it's a
Yeah,
jump in feelings that doesn't
I'm not
exactly
trying to
relate.
tell someone that their
Yeah.
feelings are wrong or what they're feeling is incorrect, but
Hmm.
uh, yeah, I don't think that's what the issue is here. If he wanted to feel that way, or he would probably go do some secretive things outside of the house, not inside his room, right? Um, but yeah, overall red flag. It's kind of whack. You're right. Locks should only really be on the bathroom.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
what a
it's
weirdo.
super weird. There's no question about it. That's super weird. Unless, what do you think? Do you think that's as weird as we think?
Yeah,
Weird flag, red flag,
weird red flag.
girl run flag. I don't know what kind of flag, but either way, it's a flag.
The go flag on a
Yeah,
race to just let her run.
get out of there. Hopefully, the lease or payment was not Too permanent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
that's so
noticed all of
crazy.
these are from women. Maybe next episode we'll have a
Hey,
few perspectives from the men
maybe.
or any other gender.
Write us, let us know. And also let us know, what do you think about each of these scenarios and what would you do? And what's your advice? I'm sure people would love to hear as well.
I would love to hear
I wonder if there's
because
any different perspective from what we think. Is a red flag really a red flag?
yeah, right. I
Yes
think
or no?
yeah, help us out with this echo chamber here. Share your 2 cents down below in the comments. We'd really appreciate it.